Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are diving into the essential skill of interacting with web elements using Playwright automation. We will cover how to perform actions like clicking on a button, filling the name, and selecting the dropdown and submitting the form. So let's get started. And again, these are the fundamental building blocks for creating robust end-to-end tests. So the first thing you need to make sure is that you have the Playwright installed. If you don't have it, you can simply go to the playwright.dev website and then click the get started button, and you can see the installation, and you can install it for Python, Java, or Node.js, or even C#. It supports many languages. So for our demo today, we are going to use this demo page, and I will include the source code of this HTML so you can run it as local server and you can practice and you can follow along. So this page has a simple button which when I click is going to confirm that the button is clicked. It is going to show a message, a button clicked, and it has forms, name, email, where you can select an option and then click submit. So that is what we are going to take today in this video as an example web page. And let's get started. The code Playwright code for this is this one, and I will also provide the code for this in the description, and you can simply create a file called demo or any name .spec.ts, and I'm using the JavaScript, but you can code in Java or Python or C#, your favorite language. So use that language and you can follow along. So what this code does is, first we have to import the Playwright test library, and then you have the test here with the test name, and what it is doing is going to this demo URL, and then it is doing the click action on this button. So in Playwright I have used the get by role button. So what that means is, if you inspect, you can see that this button has the ARIA role, and in other words, there are many ways to identify this button, but here I have used the button name. The name of the button is click me. So you can simply say the page, in this page, get by role is the button, and that is the button, the HTML tag, and the name of the button. And to perform the click operation, just say .click, and once you click it, you need to make sure that a pop-up message appears or any text appears. For example, here this div element text becomes visible. So to make sure that the text appears, you can make an assertion. So assertion is verification. So this is an assertion. That means you are verifying that something is happening on the page. When the user does something, you see something happening. So here we are checking that the text button clicked is visible on the page. To do that, you need to say I am expect the text on the page.getByText. Find a text with a name button clicked, and I want to make sure that this button is visible. So you say to be visible. That's how simple it is. It is almost like a plain English conversation. So you're saying I am expecting a text button clicked to be visible on the page as soon as I click the click me button. So we saw how to click a button and how to verify, how to make assertions, a simple assertion. And next thing you are going to see is how to fill the form in Playwright. So I have the name, email, and select option. So I have used here is fill means typing, just like a human being would, a user would type in his name or her name. So we have used the get by label. So what it means is, here we are saying go to the page, get by label, and label with a name with value name. So what it means is, when I inspect this page for this input field, you can see that there is a name label for this name field, and similarly there is a label for email, which is email, and there is a label for everything as a label. So if you have label for your element, especially for forms, you can use. So here I am saying find a label with a value name. So get by label of name and then type the value, the name, type the name, John Doe. So you have to say dot fill. That's what it means, typing your name in Playwright. We have a method called fill. So just use the fill. So it types in that value, and you can also clear the field. Suppose you type in some value here, you can clear the value and then type. So that's the method to use is clear. So you're going to identify the same name field and you're going to call dot clear method. This will clear the value, whatever that is typed in that name field, input field. And then you can again try typing some other value. So sometimes you need this scenario where you have to clear the value and type in a new value. So you can use this locator, get by label, and sometimes you can also use other HTML ID locators. So here let's say you are going to enter the email in this email field, and in the same way I can say, instead of saying get by label email, I have used the HTML ID. So HTML ID, every element, most of the web pages have HTML ID for each and every element. Sometimes you have to talk to your developer to provide an ID for your element, if that is what you prefer to have for each and every element a unique ID. For example, you can see the name as a unique ID name, the email as a unique HTML ID. So this is the HTML ID, and they always represent this in the HTML source code as ID equal to the ID HTML ID name. So the email as the HTML ID email dash input. So I'm going to locate this email input field using its HTML ID, which is email dash input. So in Playwright, how to do this is you say page.locator, and locator is how you locate the element, a selector that is used to identify a DOM element. And here I have the hash sign, the pound sign. This means HTML ID followed by the name, which is the HTML ID. As you can see, the ID. So hash or pound symbol is the way of telling Playwright that this email input is the HTML ID I am specifying here. So it will locate that element, and once it locates that successfully, we are asking the script, the Playwright, to fill, which is type the email test@example.com. As simple as that. Now let's tackle the other last section, which is the option, selecting an option in the form. So we have seen how to fill or type in the value, but when it comes to option, that is when you want to select an option from the drop down menu, you can do it by its visible text. For example, visible text means whatever the user sees on the page. So these are the visible options I have in the drop down, like option 1, option 2, option 3. You might have different options on your web page. For example, the shipping may be free shipping, 2-day shipping, or standard shipping. So whatever the text you see is the visible text. So in this case, I can select the option by the visible text. Say I want to select option 2. So in the Playwright code, what you need to do is, first you need to identify the drop down. And if you spy on the drop down, it has the label option dash select. There are other ways to locate this drop down, but in this example I have used the get by label. So it is going to find the label with the name option select, which is the drop down, and it is going to select an option by calling this method dot select option. And it is select option is selects the option based on the visible text we provide. If you want to select option 2, you have to specify the text. For example, the option 2 may be free. Then you have to select type here, provide free shipping text. So that is the visible option, and it will select the option 2. there are other ways to select this option also, and that is by providing the value. Let me show you that. And so this is another way of selecting the option. So we have the same select option here, but instead of providing the visible text, we are providing the value property, which value 2. What this means is if you go back to the HTML source code, you can see here when you expand this, you see the value here. So you have value 1, value 2. The value 2 is what corresponds to the option 2 which we want to select. So you can say value equal to value 2. That is another way of doing that. The third and the final option, and if you know any other option, provide in the comment below, and I might have missed it, but this is another option where you can provide the index. Index is like an array. Let's say you have many options here, and the index value always starts with 0. So 0 is the first option, which is the first value in the drop down list, but here we have 0, 1, 2. And if I say 2, it's going to select the option 2, same as these. So you can use these, try these out in your local machine, and you will see that all these does the same. And now we have successfully filled the form. So there is a submit button here, and it's the same like clicking the button, just like we did in the first line of code. The first action, same get by role, and same get by role. It is a button, and to uniquely identify the button, because there are 2 buttons on this page. So just like we identified using the name click me, we are going to identify the name of this button by providing its name, which is submit, and then doing the dot click operation there, and thereby it is going to successfully submit the form. So let's see this thing in action, and you can run the command, run the script by using this command which is npx playwright, and then followed by the name of the test, which is demo1.spec.ts, and then the browser that you want to run the test. It may be Firefox. In my case, I am using the Chrome browser, so browser equal to Chromium dash browser equal to Chromium, and then in headed mode so that we can see the browser. Otherwise, it will by default it runs in hidden mode, so you cannot see the browser open and the script interacting. So I have provided headed for browser to show on the computer when the script runs, and then after the test runs we need to see the report, and then this is the debug, so that we can see the Playwright debugger. So I can show you how the script runs and execute line by line and see the actual operation. Why I am doing debug is, if I don't have the debug, it's going to run this test pretty fast, and we cannot see the step-by-step action that the script is going to make to interact on this page. So let's run this command, and you will see you'll see the test is not found because I am in a different directory. My test is in the test directory. So let me go back and cd to the tests directory, and now let's run the test. So we can see the browser is opened, and the Playwright inspector and the browser. So you can see the test has stopped in the first line. So let's click this step over button, so it's going to execute one line at a time, and you can see it's going to the main page, and then it is going to get the role. So it's already showing us with the red dot that it is going to interact with this element, and it's going to do the click up. So let's see. So it has successfully clicked, and the message has appeared, and we are going to assert, that is, we are going to verify that the message button clicked appeared, and of course it appeared. And then we are going to fill the form, type in the name, and we are going to clear the name, and it got cleared successfully, and we are going to enter with a new name, and then we are going to input the email, and then we are going to select the option 2, and we are going to click the button submit. So there you have, guys, we have performed the essential actions. So we have learned how to click on the buttons, type into input fields, and finally click the submit, filling the form and submitting the form. So you should remember to use the appropriate locators to reliably target your element on the page. So we have seen the many options, and you can pick one of the reliable option to select your locator by using the label, role, or HTML ID. And you can put my other videos where I have explained in detail the various locators available in Playwright, and I have also explained about this debugging functionality in Playwright, what are the features and what are the advantages of using this debug to inspect your test, run it line by line. And in the next video we will dive into the Playwright's powerful assertion capabilities. So stay tuned and happy testing. Thanks for watching.